I know our relationship isn't perfect, but I do feel like what we got going on is pretty awesome.
Here we go.
Here we go. I think that if our husbands weren't brothers, I would still choose you as a best friend.
I know you so well. Sometimes I think I know you more than you know yourself.
Probably. I'm sometimes in awe with how interesting our life is. I'm Alex.
I'm Lexi.
And this is Accidentally on Purpose.
Woohoo!
Yeah. We're going to cut that out. Hi. What's up? So, things look a little different in here.
Yeah.
This is our first episode of season 2. Finally. Like, I feel like we've been talking about it. And now we're like finally sitting down to record technically our second episode, but this is going to be the first one that comes out. So,
oh,
okay. I literally heard a baby crying and I was like, what in the
sorry, that's my baby in the closet.
Okay. Funny, we're talking about friendship today.
Just kidding. That's my dogs. Just ignore them.
But Lexi got an espresso. So we're having fancy coffee. I think we kind of want to last season was Celsius and 2 green chairs. We're just morphing into these new girlies.
Yes.
But
I thought I was wearing a green sweatshirt for a second, but I'm not.
Okay, are we tripping?
Yeah.
So this is our podcast studio now.
Yay!
Yeah, insert applause. Yay! We did the walls ourselves. We got these chairs and this beautiful rug, and this is my blanket from home, but they do look very similar. Mm-hmm. So, but we have talked about this new season, and we want to do it so intentionally and have, thought and all the different things that kind of go into a podcast. It's so easy to just forget about it and, whatever. But come to find out, people apparently really love it. Didn't realize that.
Do they?
Yeah. So who told me that the other day? Somebody did. Somebody told me. But we literally sat down one afternoon. I think it was either last Friday or Monday. And we sat down and we were like, what do we want? Like, what are our goals for this? What do we want? Let's break it down to the smallest possible thing. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, I just want to be able to have conversation with Lexi, although we talk all the time. But I want it to be kind of like a glimpse into our relationship. Mm-hmm. I know we play on that a lot, but I do want it to be in that, people can come and listen to us and feel like they're part of our friendship. And they can hear that conversation and I know our relationship isn't perfect, but I do feel like what we got going on is pretty awesome. So, I just it's literally the most effortless relationship ever. And I want somebody else to be able to witness that, to be able to be like, I want a friendship like that, mm-hmm. and realize their worth if their relationship, that kind of sounds bad. If your relationship isn't like ours, that doesn't mean that you have a bad relationship with a friend. But
I think also just, if somebody doesn't have that, or they're going through something hard and they feel alone, mm-hmm. we kind of want them to hit play on our episode and just feel like you're talking with us, mm-hmm. and just,
definitely. Yeah. I can definitely see that. And just getting the true, authentic, raw piece of us, I think that can be really hard to remember, there's people watching and we don't know what judgment they're giving us. Mm-hmm. But that's not the intention.
It's hard. I'm sorry. I fidget so much. It's going to be hard to not fidget.
Just play with your toes.
Ew.
Just play with your toes.
ADHD. I can't sit still.
We're going to start off each episode, I think, with
our wins for the week.
Yeah. Something that we're just happy about for the week. What?
We got a text from Russell.
Oh my God. So let it be known also that RD came out with a new album last night, and it's his deluxe album. So there's only a couple of new songs on there, but there's some live versions, and it's just literally that's amazing. It's so good. But our goal, literally for this podcast, is to have his wife on here with us.
We will try and try.
Our list of guest artists, our list of people who are going to come on, we literally have Kaylee's name on there because we're manifesting it. We're Lord, please come through with this. I want to want to be in Kaylee's presence. Like
Yes.
I pray about it. So I love her. We love her. Like, love Artie. I feel like I've said this before. If they lived here and they weren't famous, I feel like we would be friends with them. Like, just because of the things that they believe in, their personality.
Yeah.
You know, it's very similar. Anyway, I'm sure the people who hear us talk about Artie all the time are like, oh my God, here it is again.
You know, it's hard, like, because I would be like this about Justin Bieber if he, like...
Did you hear me swallow just now?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Okay. If he, like, you know, did more things. But I know he's trying to lay a little bit lower these days. So, because Russ is doing a lot more stuff. And
I was thinking about that this morning, about how he's like kind of like growing. I'm like so proud of him. But at the same time, we're like, no.
Don't grow.
No, don't. Because we love you being
but
like
it's
smaller.
really cool. And, I mean, speaking of Kaylee... Her podcast is growing, and I saw she had
1 million downloads.
Yeah, downloads. So that's really cool. Congrats to you.
Yes, congrats,
if you
Kaylee
ever
girl.
listen to this.
So if you listen to this on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, send this to her.
Yes.
Tag her in it, like all of the things. Because we told Russ at our meet and greet that we wanted him to tell her about our podcast, and he said he would, and then he went and commented on our TikTok. So I want to believe that he did, but
hopefully he did.
Yeah, he did. It's fine. So Lexi, what did you do this week that you are proud of, or that like you're like celebrating?
Oh, well, I feel like it was a very odd week because we had Halloween on Tuesday, so it felt like a very short work week.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is there like
so
a dividing line between professional life and personal life? Of like you have victories in different areas for different reasons?
Well, I mean, okay. So this wasn't this week, it was last week's. But I feel like because this week went so fast, I'm going to merge them. I can't remember what day it was, but one day I had an extension consult.
Oh, yeah.
But then I also had a haircut. And so, like, whenever I have extension consults, I never expect them to just, like, drop the money then. Honestly, I just hope that they come because I feel like that's, like, the worst no-show appointment.
Oh, extension consults?
Yes.
Yeah.
But, anyways, so...
They're the most nerve-wracking because I feel like people don't really truly understand what they're getting themselves into.
Right. So I had her, and then she ended up, like, she already made her mind up. She was like, I want the hair, so let's do it. So I was like, great, awesome, perfect. And then I had a haircut after that. Wasn't expecting anything but a haircut. Anyways, so she came in next, so sweet, just moved here, and we were, you know, I was talking about what she wanted for her cut. And then I was like, okay, you said you wanted to talk about color. So we were doing that while you were doing a move up next to us.
Oh, yeah.
And she was sitting there and I had her faced that way and she was just staring at it. She was like, what is that extensions? And I was like, yeah.
And what's funny is when I sat there looking at you, like talking to her and stuff like that, I was like, she has the perfect hair for extensions.
I thought that too.
I was like, I want to say something, but I know I do that every single time you have somebody come in that doesn't have extensions and they could like pull it off. Yeah. I like always am trying to sell them. I know that sounds so bad, but it's not like selling for the fact of getting money. It's selling for the fact of I want to change your life or let Lexi change your life, you know?
But when she brought up the extensions, and then I think you had said something, but I can't remember.
I was waiting for the green light to like, jump on it.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Anyways, so I was like, well, I mean, you're here. You don't need to like book a consult. If you're already here, let's talk about it. And she was like, yeah, let's talk. And I was like, perfect.
I remember saying something about like, oh yeah, like you get the one row. It's like, because she wasn't looking for length. And she was like, yeah, if I get one row, I was like, yeah, you can get like the look of extensions without the price tag of it. I think that one row of extensions is like literally best bang for your buck.
So that we were going to do that.
No, did she do too?
Oh, yeah.
Stop.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She said, well, let's just go all out then, you know?
And she dropped it that day. Stop.
Mm-hmm. Well, so like we were gonna book a color.
I know she booked
first.
the color appointment and new install, but I didn't know she dropped it that day.
Well, the retainer. She
Yeah.
did. I was talking to her about it. She's very insecure about her hair right now. She's losing quite a bit. So
She's so sweet.
she is so sweet.
And you know what? You deserve that. You deserve
right.
that after the season of like just clients that you've had. Like, not everybody is but like we get a couple in a season where it's just been like,
I feel
am I
like-
going to catch a break?
Well, and I feel like I've been on a new extension install rut recently. And so I got 2 new installs in the span of
I'm so
like
proud of
2
you.
hours. And I was like, I was living on a high for a second. I called Chase and I was like, guess what?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And not to
so.
mention, like, she's just going all out. She's going for it. Which, I mean, that is something that I do recommend. Is like, if you're
Yes.
going to do extensions, get 2 rows first. So because like, if you go from 1 row to 2,
It's
you're
more
going to be
money.
like, I don't want to go to 1 row. Like, I don't want to add another row. I'm spoiled by 1.
Right.
But if you go from 2 down to 1, then you're like, oh, wow, this is so much
Right.
better.
And we're getting 18s, so she can either leave them long or we can cut them. It's just like we're gonna figure
Dude,
that
that transformation's gonna
out
look
the
so
day
sick.
of. But yes, so I just matched her yesterday. We did her color and everything, and I matched her, and I ordered the hair yesterday, and so we're gonna do the install I think in like 2 weeks, and I'm so excited. But
Hey,
anyways,
well, the next time we record will be a follow-up.
yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, that was like a really good a good day. So I would say I'll use that as my win.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I can't really think. I had a slower week this week, but my win for the week is not anything career related, but I take voice lessons. Obviously, you know this. I'm talking to you about this, but
Yep.
I take voice lessons and I sing in my church at choir. I sing in my choir at church. And
Honestly, I didn't even catch that. So I was like, yeah, church at choir.
church at choir. Basically the same, yes. But I've been doing that, and this is probably like my 6th or 7th lesson. And, you know, I'm not formally trained at all. I'm just not tone deaf. So I'm like, you know, choir, easy. But I obviously don't have a goal in the end, but I do want to be a better singer, where if I wanted to be part of the worship team, I could. So I've been taking voice lessons, and she's so sweet, but she's given me like mind-blowing advice. Well, I apparently unlocked something yesterday that I didn't even know existed, and it literally felt like Ursula was like pulling my voice out of me, and it was just like an epiphany, and it felt so good, and I was like, I'm proud of myself for, you know, it's a muscle, so you got to work it out like anything else. So I'm like, I feel like, you know, I talk a lot anyway, so my voice is already strained, but you know, here we are. So
Yay!
congrats. It was it was just a good week. I sometimes sit there and think in my car where I'm like, man, I got it really good. I got it really good sometimes, and I really love my life. I love the people in it. I love the support system that I got. I love the fact that I'm able to provide for my family, but also be able to do the things that I enjoy and fill my cup up, like taking voice lessons or doing choir or whatever. And I'm just so thankful that God has put me in this space in my life where I don't have to struggle.
Yes.
Anyway, enough about that.
Halloween was this week. So
Oh yeah.
what was your kids?
They were Conrad and Sally from Cat in the Hat. And if you know me, I quote Cat in the Hat literally every day. Best movie ever.
We need to watch that together.
Dude, honestly, you're going to be like, Alex, can you just shut the up?
so
come
funny.
on now.
It's so funny. I love it.
It's so funny. And my kids had never seen it. So we watched it. And then I was like, bro, this is the best idea. That is my kids in a nutshell is Sally and Conrad.
Yeah.
Baylor is too good for Boston's bull. And Boston is sitting there saying City Morgue and indoor stair luge. Okay. Oh my gosh. You know what? It was a win for both of us this
What?
week. Kylie or Kennedy's first week by herself was this week.
Yes.
And she's freaking killing it.
And Kylie's first week as a booth renter. So they're both, we have a new assistant, and our old assistant is now part-time booth rent at our salon.
Yeah.
So-
That's a surreal feeling.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Kennedy's killing it though. I was thinking about it when I was doing somebody's hair the other day, like, and she was helping me. I was like, we are doing that. Like, we just, like, our first assistant graduated essentially and, like, got promoted but demoted at the same time. Like, that doesn't sound right, but it is right. She got demoted from assistant.
Oh,
but she got promoted to booth rent.
Yeah.
Like, okay, first of all, she went from booth rent, she went from an assistant, straight up assistant, to straight up booth rent.
Yeah, no. And she's killing it.
Yeah.
Dude. Her books are filling up. Yeah. She is killing it.
And honestly, like, I just hope and pray every time I think about, like, telling Kennedy something, I think in my head, I'm like, did I teach Kylie?
I know.
Good enough.
I know.
But I mean, she said that she, when she's sitting behind the chair, she's like, what would Alex and Lexi do?
Yeah.
I love that. She has 2 people to learn from. How cool is that?
I know.
Anyway.
Well, okay, so that kind of jumps in. We share an assistant. How the F do we do that, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm probably thinking that.
I mean, we were told not to.
Yeah.
We were told not to, and we basically said, I have faith in us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not work forever, but for now.
For now,
it
yeah.
works.
Yeah. I think that where we are in our career, I think it works, but also, like, I think it's our friendship that makes it work. I think that, we're just very understanding of the situation that each one of us is in. Mm-hmm. And, people say have an assistant to, unpopular opinion, people say have an assistant to double book. And because you're bringing in more money.
Right.
I can bring in more money by getting done faster. Mm-hmm. So
we tried the double booking and we both were like, this is crazy and I'm not a fan.
Yeah. I think because we have so much going on around us that if the space was bigger, then I think it would definitely work. But I think also the time that we do have, like, while a client's processing or whatever, that allows us to do other things. Mm-hmm. So, like, the assistant's really there to save us time, learn. Like, that's bigger for me, is like having to give a space for them to be able to learn and have confidence in what they're doing and, be part of that. That's what I love about that. So, but I think this episode, like, we've never really shared, not necessarily our story. We've shared our story before, but I think that sometimes we get so in our heads about, like, sharing, like, oh, we're sister-in-laws, because literally anytime somebody's like, oh, hey, like, this is Alex, like Andrea's mom.
Yeah.
The other day, I was like, oh, are you Andrea's mom? And she's like, yes. Are you Alex? I was like, yeah, I'm Alex.
And I'm Lexi.
And this is Amber and Sage. Like, we didn't really say it like that, but it seems like every single time we have to say it like that.
So I remember because you're like, oh, yeah, I'm Alex. And then you had this pause. And then I just was like, and I'm Lexi. Oh, shit. I'm talking with my hands. And I'm Lexi. And then you're like, yeah, I always just pause because I know to, like, you have to introduce yourself.
Yeah. It's like, there's a movie where they do that. It's like, I'm da-da-da and I'm da-da-da. Like, they pause.
Well, it's also like when Disney Channel is like, I'm blah, blah, blah. And this is Disney Channel.
Yeah. But I'm Alex.
I'm Lexi.
And this is Accidentally on Purpose.
Woohoo!
Yeah. I feel like I always just have to throw the pause in there because it just makes it so much better. It's like, oh, we know so much about each other that, like, we just know to throw the pause in there.
Right. So.
But, like, how do we make it work? Like, not even necessarily, like, why is our relationship so good? Why do we never get like, literally for the first time yesterday, I told you, I'm not going to fight with you. And it was, like, literally about what were we even fighting about? It wasn't even fighting. It was like yeah, I did that. No, I don't remember that. No, yeah, I did that.
Okay, so we had to get a second battery for our camera because we realized one battery is just ain't enough. And, like, I always think about it. At the end of the day, I feel like my brain just cycles through. Okay, what do I need to do? What did I do wrong? It's toxic. But
I was about to say that's really unhealthy.
I know. I work on it.
I'll talk to Heidi about it next time.
Yeah, right. Anyways, so she was like, oh, like, we don't have enough time to get a battery. Like, no stores have them. And she was like, I should have got them when we got what are these called?
Pop filters.
Yeah, those. And I was like, I literally told you that we need a battery like multiple times. And you're like, no, you didn't. And I was like, yes, I did.
But like her version of telling me is like, we probably should get another camera battery. It's not, hey, Alex, go ahead and go order that on Amazon right now. Because that's what I need to be told. Because like you saying, well, we probably should. I'm still waiting for approval. I'm still waiting for you to say, hey, go do it. Go do it right now. But
I said that definitely like multiple times. The we probably should.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is for everything. Yeah. Like it's always a suggestion. That's just you not like wanting to be like, I have an opinion about this and we're going to do it right now. Which we said that in Tyler's podcast too. TBD. But
so that was our bickering, and she was like, "I'm not fighting with you," and I was like,
so very sister-like, but like we said before, this is the second episode that we've recorded, and I don't know if we'll include that part in it or not, but Tyler kind of asked us, like, what is it about y'all's relationship that just like flows and it works? Because like I've said this before. I don't know if I said this. Actually, I think I did say it on one of our first episodes on last season. There was an epiphany that I had when we were in the suite. And I was like cleaning and I was aggravated about something. I don't know if I was like mad at you about something or if I was just like in those, we have those moods like you were on Tuesday.
I definitely have a mood like that probably every day.
Maybe. I've only witnessed it like once a week, maybe.
That's why I am alone sometimes. Though that's why I need.
I know that you appreciate your alone time.
Because if not, I'm a bitch.
Yeah. Very.
Mom.
Yeah. Yeah. She just needs that time to like decompress and like stop. Because I think, you're a natural people pleaser. So like you're like constantly trying to think of what you can do for somebody else. And then when it's like finally time for you to worry about yourself, you're like, no, I applaud you for having that boundary.
I don't know if it's a boundary or it's just like.
No, I think it is. I think that that's like your defense mechanism. It's like I've been
shutting down.
I've been giving so much to so many people. I need to like back up, take a minute. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I had this epiphany. I was cleaning. I might have been mad. Right. I don't know. And I said that I was thinking in my head, I was like, you know what? Like, she's my business partner. Like, I can't afford to be mad at her. Like, I can't have a mindset. Like, if I just continue to be mad, it's going to snowball.
It was probably those pregnancy hormones.
That too. Yeah. Sometimes I forget I actually had kids. Like I have kids, but sometimes I forget. Like
where'd they come from?
It literally goes by so fast. Anyway, I was cleaning and I was like, I'm just so aggravated. And then I was like, I cannot be mad at her. Like, I'm just going to have to get over it. Like, it's almost like literally a sister. Like you can't be mad at them.
I've come to realize it is exactly that.
Yeah. So you're so lucky. Grew up without one and now you have one.
Yeah.
But I did see a TikTok trend where it was like you sent it to me. And that was
the
like
high school thing.
Yeah. I was like, that's really sweet. We're going to do it and put it on Instagram. But
no. Was it the same? Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah. It was like my best friend that I didn't get to go to high school with or something like that.
Yeah.
Came in my life after high school.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Which had you come in my life just a little bit sooner, you would have went to my wedding.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like you didn't even go to mine and I was your maid of honor. Wow.
I know. God.
I know. But I think that I've had to do some like major thinking about what it is about our relationship, especially when Tyler asked us. I was like, nobody's asked us this question anywhere. And I honestly think it's that I don't have to pretend to be somebody I'm not around you. Oh, you know what we should talk about? We should talk about your wedding gift that I was supposed to tell you.
We got 10 minutes.
Perfect.
Okay, before I lose my thought about that though, she just said that sentence. I don't have to pretend. I don't know if any of you, like her clients are watching or anything like that. Does it shock you to hear her say that? Because for me or an outsider looking in, I feel like you are one that doesn't have two faces.
Really?
Like you are who you are. And if somebody doesn't like that, you're like literally like this. Like in the best way. Like this is Alex.
Like, I'm glad that I come across that way.
I know now though that's not you still mask, but as like a new person seeing you, I feel like because you're like, I always talk so much, I don't have a filter, all the things. So I wonder if people that know you but don't fully know you are surprised by like hearing that.
I think that there's a certain part of my life that I don't allow people into. And while I sit here and say that, I think I do share a lot with my clients. I do share, like past traumas and, my daddy issues and all those things. I do share those with my people that I am closer with. But with that going into what I was going to get you for your wedding gift, I don't know if I'm repeating myself.
We did say that in the
we said
RD
it in
one.
Oh yeah. Okay. So like her wedding gift being the, the bracelet that says "You are my ocean." That's like a really big, like, not disclaimer, but like it's a descriptive story for me because, an ocean is infinitely deep. It's, very, vast and wide. I mean, I could come up with a million different.
There's more ocean than there is land.
Yeah, exactly. So I just feel like using that as a descriptive term for our relationship is very accurate.
Girls will probably understand this more, but like the same gender, I feel like
it's a level of understanding.
Yeah. And like, I mean, same with Chase. I mean, he's my best friend, but like you're also my best friend. And
right.
Same with like any other best friends I have. Like we are best friends for different reasons, not the same, or I wouldn't have multiple.
Right.
But like obviously I'm with you more than Chase.
Yeah.
Mostly. And like we're also intertwined so much.
Which I think can come across as very unhealthy. But like it's like
we're toxic together.
Yeah. No. It just works. Yeah. And I mean, I really do think that it's like that, like, when we built the wall in the salon, the like, slat wall, like I was like, oh, maybe we should paint it. Or maybe we should like have it all one color instead of having like that wood contrast on there. And we went back and forth about it a couple of times trying to figure out what exactly we wanted to do. And Lexi had told me, I think I want to paint it black. And then I like didn't even like recall what she had said. And then she had told me again, I think I want to paint it black. And I was like, okay, in that moment, she has an opinion. So like, I know to take it real seriously because she doesn't normally have an opinion about things like that.
I feel like I'm having more opinions though.
Oh, definitely.
More than
definitely.
I used
Proud of
to.
you for that.
But I noticed that like the more our relationship grows and the more maybe I'm just becoming more myself or not being as scared and like talking more, I feel like we clash a little bit more like sisters. Like
yeah,
I am fighting more with you instead of not.
Yeah. But I do feel like it's like a bicker. It's it's like like an eye roll, like whatever.
And like what helps me sleep at night is knowing like, because used to the reason I wouldn't talk or stand up for myself, not even in our relationship, anything. At night, I wouldn't be able to sleep. Like when I said I literally replay everything the next day or that night, like it's bad. And so like the one thing that really helps now is I'm like, okay, I feel like she's just like my sister. So I've never had a sister, so I don't know how this feels, but I feel like sisters, you can't get rid of them. So she can't get rid of me.
Right. I mean, yeah.
And also like, oh, this one thing I might have said that might have hurt her feelings, or if I was a little bit mean that day, like I know like we're more just like, oh, whatever, like it's a new day.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No,
and
literally I was
petty
like
about it.
On Tuesday when you were like, I need to go home, I'm in a bad mood. I was like, yeah, you are. I knew you going home, me giving you your space. Like I wasn't like, I think I texted you about something, but I wasn't like saying, oh, maybe I shouldn't text her because she's in a bad mood. Like I wasn't overthinking it. I was just like, oh, I'm going to give her like some time to chill out. Like it's been an overwhelming weekend, like overwhelming Monday. You know, I'm just going to give her, and then we were dealing with some like heavy topics at the salon. So I was like, it's been an overwhelming day. Like, I'm just going to give her the time and the space and the peace to just be at home and enjoy that. And then the next day it came in, everything's fine. Like, I realized, like, talking to you on the phone every day, literally I feel there's not a time during the day that her and I are not communicating. I think on the weekends is the most that we don't communicate.
But I feel like that helps us as business partners.
Oh, for sure. Because we have that time to talk that's not in that space. But like some mornings when I call you, I have like a little tendency to, like, on Wednesday morning, I said, is it going to be a better day? And I was like, I shouldn't have said that because I'm just making her remember that she was in a bad mood. So I have to kind of like catch myself sometimes when I say petty stuff like that. But I think that if our husbands weren't brothers, I would still choose you as a best friend. Like, so, I mean, it's just like, I don't have to pretend to be anything I'm not around you. And like, you know me so well, our beliefs, the same. I know I have an opinion about everything and I'm very vocal in those opinions, but I'm so thankful that somebody understands the level of crazy that I am and the things that I believe, like, especially with like crunchy things. Like, I'm so glad that there's somebody on that same level as me and I don't have to over explain myself. You're like, oh yeah, no, I totally get it.
You can thank Carla for that one.
Yes. Thank you, Carla. I'm just comfy. I had to take my socks off because if I put a blanket on with socks on,
that's just gross.
It's just,
that's a sin.
That's a sin. Do you feel like people, or do you get self-conscious when we play on the, okay.
Keep going.
All the time. Yes. When we play on the, like, we're sister-in-laws.
Yes. Because when I feel like I have to repeat myself a lot, I feel like I'm being annoying.
Yeah, I feel that. But I mean, like, that's such a big part of our brand.
I know.
I mean, like, that's our story. Like, you know, people know us because of that aspect. So that's fun. But at the same time, I do feel like we're kind of like shifting into this, like, not just playing, which we talked about this when we did that rebranding shoot. We were like, what do we want to be known for? Like, what do we, like, do we want to be known for the fact that we're sister-in-laws and we own a salon together? Or do we want to be known for the fact that we're best friends? Like, and it works.
Yeah.
Like, you can own a business with your and what's crazy is, like, I look at somebody, not necessarily judgmental, but like somebody who might have said that they were best friends and they try to open a business and then it doesn't work. Like, we've owned this business since November of 2020 and plans for that even before then. So, I mean, it's working and I couldn't tell you how, but I mean, I don't foresee there being, like, we're on the same page about so many things.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was talking to Phoebe about it yesterday. We were talking about that embezzlement situation. And, we were talking about that. And I was like, yeah, Lexi doesn't have to worry about me doing anything kind of sketchy like that because, like, this is terrifying.
Even if you did, I would know like a second after.
Dude, true. I can't get away with shit.
You don't do it on purpose, but like her Amazon will, like, it'll accidentally charge a different one than, and I'm like, what is this at? What is this?
Yeah.
I am very stickler on that stuff.
Yeah. But I'm thankful for that because I mean, we're definitely going to have to, like, when you guys have kids, it's going to have to, like, we're going to be finding a new normal with that too. But I do feel like in this season of our life where, you know, I'm so appreciative of the growth. I'm like, I'm very, very thankful for the growth and, like, just the understanding of each other and, like, all of that.
Yeah. And, like, the biggest things that I feel like we can ramble on about is us.
I mean, yeah.
And it's easy to talk about. And I want our podcast topics to be easy to talk about.
Okay, so if somebody is looking for, like, they're like in this rut of life and they're like, I just don't have anybody like you have each other, you know, or you guys have each other. So, like, if you were to give somebody a piece of advice for that, because like I see so many people pouring so much energy into a friendship, and it's a one-sided friendship, or it's like they're diving head first, you know, really hard. What like piece of advice would you give somebody that's like in this like season of struggle with friends?
Well, so I feel like this can go to friendships and like romantic relationships. Because I tell my one of Chase and I's friends that like if it's not easy, it's probably not gonna like work, or it's not meant to go farther.
Right.
So one, it's got to be easy and it's got to flow, especially in the beginning. Like if you're working so hard day in and day out on a relationship, why?
I mean, like I can see people chasing it for the sake of validation.
Yeah. But like if you're like literally like it's like a rope and you're just trying to like hold on for dear life, that's a red flag to me.
Right.
Because I've had like just relationships in general that I felt like that. Like romantic.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, why is it so hard? Why it does, but it's not supposed to be.
I think that like what happened with us was completely by accident. I think that
Really?
accidentally but on purpose. Because I only say that because when we started becoming friends, you were going through a really hard time in your life. And I'm a natural fixer. I want to make everything better. I want to like take everybody under my wing. So like I was like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe filling a void and helping you through that tough season and like making you realize, you know, you are your own person. You can be independent, like, you know, just helping you through that really, really hard season. And then we get through that season and you and Chase start dating.
Yeah.
So it's like we've already gone through that, like, oh, well, now you're going to be around all the time anyway. So we just grow closer together.
Yeah.
So that's the accident part. You know, I help you through this hard time. We become extremely vulnerable with each other. And then we just over time, it gets closer and closer. And now it's like we're sisters.
Literally, I think like a very vague memory I have is I was literally on my way to where I was going that I wasn't supposed to be going. And I was on the phone with her. I can't remember if you called me or I called you. And you're like, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing. And then I told you and you're like, Lexi, you don't need to be doing that. And I was like, I know, but I'm going to anyways. And then I think I just like on my way, like told you what I was struggling with, like personally. And I remember you were just like, Lexi. But like your voice more was like, no, like really? Like it was the more like, yeah, it was the deep stuff that I was telling you. And I don't know if you remember this, but I do. Because you were the first person other than my really close best friend at the time that I confessed that to. And we weren't even close. And so I'll probably always remember that. But
I think I remember the conversation. But there's been, I mean, you know, you've healed this wound in me. Wow, we're getting really deep. All my life, like literally all my life, I have chased and chased and chased and chased after somebody as a friend to love me for me and love that like crooked sideways, like, just love me, choose me. And I mean, like from a friend, like not as like a romantic partner. And I was like thinking in my head, I need so many people in my life. And I was like always thinking like, oh yeah, they're my best friend. They're my best friend. They're my best friend. but it was always very one-sided. And I would do and do and do and do for everybody, but nobody was doing that for me. Nobody was jumping through the hurdles and hoops for me. And so I was just like, you know, chasing every opportunity that there was for somebody to take care of me as a friend. And I think that, you know, Courtney came along, and then that kind of like just really started shifting my perspective on, you don't need a million friends. She coined the term, but it's relevant. I would rather have 2 quarters than 50 pennies, because people throw pennies away. Like, quarters are definitely worth more. And honestly, like, it's like shiny and right there in front of you, and, you know, trauma bond on top of that, you know, with everything that happened. So, you know, Lexi comes along, and it's like, I literally don't have to pretend to be anything, and she still calls me her best friend. And I think that that's like the most healing part in little me, that like I can like have somebody call me that they're their best friend, and I'm like, you know, it makes me soft. So when things like, you know, what we talked about in the car, on your trip, when we talk about when we talked about that, you know, I hurt that same way that you're hurting. Like, I feel that same, I'm like big time empath, and I feel that same amount of pain that you're going through in that moment. And it just like makes me want to just give you like a warm, big hug, because like, to me, that same warm, big hug that I could be giving you is the same warm, big hug you've been giving me, like metaphorically, for like the past however long, you know? So like the times that we are like, you know, you do give me hugs or whatever, like I'm a big time physical.
The rare times.
Yeah. Maria has a video of us like hugging. Yeah.
It was a picture.
Oh yeah. I thought it was a video. Anyway. It's like a metaphorical hug when there's things that like I get reassured that, you know, you're or vice versa. Like, I'm your best friend.
I think so. When we first met and you were helping, I just used my hands too much.
It's fine.
You were helping me. I think it really hit home and brought us closer. Not when we were working at our first salon. I mean, we were working together. We were getting close, and I was already dating Chase before this big thing happened. But I think once you kind of got, you know, you had to move places very fast, you probably thought I was just gonna like not be there.
I mean, we've talked about this before too. Like, I thought, you know, oh yeah, Lexi's my friend. But then like the moment that she literally quit what you knew to be told the things that you were told, only to come and like be with me and build this business. Like, I was like, wow, like this girl loves me. Like, she's here for the long haul. Like, and I know that seems like such a little thing, like to, you know, people do it all the time. They leave salons and they go somewhere else. But I think that just in that moment and the circumstances surrounding it, that was like, it totally solidified it for me. Like, it was like, okay, yeah, she's here for this. Like, I can do this with her.
Because I remember like when like we would talk about it, you were like, oh yeah, like I knew. You said you were like here for me, and like especially when I was still there and you weren't, because like we had Thanksgiving together still, like because I think I was living with Chase at the time.
Oh yeah.
So like you were like, you said all these things, but I didn't really like. I still in the back of my head I was like, oh, you know, she's saying it, but I don't know. And then finally, just one day, I called you and you were like, oh, yeah, she's for real.
Yeah.
Oh, my father.
What?
They're so cute.
Let me see.
My dad sent me a selfie of my mom and him and said, good morning, make it a great day.
Aw, that's so cute. Mike G.
They're cute.
I love him. Maybe we should have Mike G on here.
Oh,
what about your parents? Ooh, that'd be a good one.
My dad might get like too into like something. Like we can't talk about something that he's like.
I mean, maybe that's what they want to see. Mike G Mike G might be passionate about something.
Yeah,
we can tell them.
Stop.
We can have them tell their story about how they fell in love, and then I can be like, "Yeah, so when you told Lexi, absolutely not," I said, "Pull the yeah, well, you did it" card.
Okay, so this story is when, it was 2020. Beginning of 2020, and Chase and I have been dating since, okay, so maybe it was like April 2020, and we had been dating since like
February.
Yeah. And
yeah, it was April, and you had been dating since February.
But also we were in quarantine a lot, so I was pretty much living with you guys. Right. And that we got close there too.
Yeah. Watching Tiger King.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like literally, what did we do all day? I wish I would have like documented
made
it.
Boston sign. His little Boston Michael sign.
Oh, right.
We like went to Lowe's a lot and did a lot of projects.
Yeah, we made his shelves. Mm-hmm. We did a little 20-week photo shoot thingy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we did a lot because the boys were still working, thank goodness. But yeah, so we weren't dating long, and they wanted Chase out before Boston was born.
I did not. I mean, I did.
You did.
I did want him out, but it wasn't like you need to move out before Boston borns. It was like, hey, like, we're getting ready to have a baby. I'm sure you don't want to be here in the middle of the night when he's screaming and we can't get him to sleep. And then, we feel bad because we're waking him up and, all of or waking Chase up. Like, I know that y'all did not want to be part of that. Like, newly having a baby at home, because it's like a hallucination almost first couple of nights. So
yeah, it's fine. They weren't mean about it. It's just a easy way to say that he needed to move out. Does it still sound fine?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was 2020 and the interest rates were hella low and the houses were hella low. And so Chase was like, I don't want to do an apartment and waste money. If they were about to sell their little house in Winslow. Mm-hmm. So he was going to get a little bit of money. He wanted to pay his truck off, but he also was like, this is the time I need to probably get a house. So I was like, ew. I can't remember if he mentioned it or I mentioned it or we both did, but we're like, what if like I just moved in? Mm-hmm. But not have my name on it or anything, just in case. So I was like, well, I don't know if this is going to happen. Because there's no way in a heck my parents are going to say yes. But also, I was like 19, so technically I could do what I wanted.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you were prepared to be cut off, you know?
I was like, okay, I'm going to prepare for the worst case scenario here.
I mean, because, like, love them, but they're kind of intimidating when it comes to stuff like that. So, like... Mm-hmm. Especially like any parents, like, oh, I'm going to go move in with my boyfriend after only dating them for like 3 months.
Right. Literally. After literally being like, dude, that part of my life was nuts. I don't know what I was thinking, but I mean, it happened. I love everything that happened, but I don't know what I was thinking.
I'm sure your parents thought at some point that you were having like a mental breakdown. So you move in with your boyfriend after dating him for 3 months.
Well,
after going through a really bad breakup.
Yeah. I for good reason would see why they were freaking out.
And then, not to mention, after you move in with him, 6 months later, you open up a business. They're like, this girl is, what did we raise her for? What did we raise her for? It's this right here.
This girl that doesn't like change, hates it. I feel like I'm leaning. And then I have all this change all the time now, and I still hate it. But I learned to live with it.
And I'm like, we're changing things all the time.
I know.
You're like, I fucking hate you. Sometimes, yeah.
When it's always change, that's when I'm like,
one thing I know not to ever bring up again, because she never knows the context of what I'm saying. Only in this one situation, I could be like, had we not changed, we wouldn't be dealing with X, Y, and Z. If I bring up booking systems to her, she goes homicidal. Okay. She's like, we're not changing it again. Don't ask me to change it.
Okay. Explanation though.
We changed booking systems like 5 times in less than 6 months.
Hold on. Explanation though, because when you said that, I know you so well. Sometimes I think I know you more than you know yourself.
Probably.
And so when you get ideas in your head, even if it's just a suggestion, the next day you're looking at damn booking systems.
I know. It's so bad.
So
I'm like, but maybe we are missing a better deal, or maybe we do have that perfect booking system out there, or we're not getting scammed.
And maybe she's a solo business partner.
Okay. As we're talking about how great our friendship is, she says stuff like that. I'm like, is that a subliminal message?
So when you say stuff like that, I know, like, because ADHD, you get like on one track mind and you're like, nope, yep, I'm going to do it. We're going to do it now. I'm not going to stop until we do it.
Yeah, but I'm always scared that I'm missing something better. Like with booking systems, I'm scared that there's one out there that literally will meet every need that we have. And then we move away from one, break a contract, move away from one because they lied to us. Now they roll out with all of these things. I'm mad about
one
it.
Thing. They rolled out one thing.
Whatever. Whatever. Here we go.
Okay. I still haven't finished my story.
I know, you haven't.
Okay. So I was sitting on the patio and I can tell. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Sue, Chase has to move out and he is going to think about buying a house. And I think we're going to move in together and I'm going to help him look. You probably
said it just like that and that slow to your parents.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
And they were like, no.
No, you're not.
No. And I was like, well, I knew you were going to say no, but like, I'm totally planning to like financially support myself, obviously with Chase's income too. So like, if, you want to cut me off, I'm prepared, but I just want your support. That's all I want.
They still love me?
Yeah, like that's all I really want. Because I know their values don't align with like moving in before marriage. And I knew that. But for me, I would have rather moved in with somebody before they were married. Like Chase or not.
Aside from that, like your mental health, like you needed to be on your own.
An adult.
Yeah. Like you just needed that independence, regardless if it was with your partner or not.
Right. So like I already made my mind up with like whether it was Chase or with anybody else, like I was going to want to move in with them before I made that step of getting engaged. Mm-hmm. But I knew that's just not what, their morals were. So anyways, my dad, I'd never heard this story before. And he was like, no, you're not doing that. I moved in with somebody and she stole from me. And I was like.
But you have to also give context because that was not your mom that did that.
No, that was not my mom.
So your dad was like 30 something, right? When they got married?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll save that story for another day.
If they want to come on.
Well, kind of want to end the episode with definitely want to end it because we can talk all day. Definitely want to end the episode with
Oh, hold up. I gotta give, like, after that story, they said no, but the next day, like, my mom was helping me look for, like, decor for the house and helping me look for houses. So, like, they fully supported me.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Yeah. Story ended great.
Yes.
But you had an idea for ending every episode. And what was that?
So I thought, because we hyperfix on certain things, like whether it's like for a week, 2 weeks, a day.
Yeah.
That's happened. We have ADHD, if you didn't know. We do.
Bad.
But I wanted to like end each episode with telling each of like what we're maybe hyperfixed on that week, or like just like our favorite thing that like we want to share. And if it's like something that we can link down below, we will do that. So then maybe like we can help you find your new favorite thing.
Definitely. So you go first.
I thought about it and didn't think about what I wanted to like talk about.
Yeah, trying to on the spot think about what you're hyperfixed on is
I
like
know. What am I hyperfixed on?
one thing that I'm like a hoe for right now is ramen.
Oh, yeah,
Like not like ramen noodles, like
ramen, like ramenara.
yeah,
here.
like what do they call it? Like bistro ramen. Like, you know, you order like fancy. It's just so good.
It is, and the weather is like
It's
colder
the perfect
now.
weather for it. And it's just,
Ooh.
I love spicy food. So like I can add as much or as little spice as I'm feeling that day. They also have gluten-free options. It sounds like we're going there for lunch. So
I only meal prepped for 3 days, so I don't have.
I ate my last one last night for dinner.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's like a really good one.
So for both of us, we could do like separate, and then if we have one for both, which we probably
we'll
do.
link both the recipes, honestly.
So, which it was your idea in the beginning. You sent it to me.
It was.
But I just
followed through with it.
I followed through. So this lady on TikTok, we'll have to find her username and link it. But she makes these meal preps in the like glass containers, and like you put everything in it, and then you just put it in the oven. It's so easy.
Oh yeah.
So easy.
Yes. So good too.
So
this week I had the chicken pesto one, which was the original one that the first one I sent you. 41 grams of protein. I think it's only got like 200 and something calories, right?
Like 3 maybe. It's enough to
21
like fill
carbs.
you up.
Okay. I'm not looking to diet, but anything that's got a crazy amount of protein like that, like
it's gonna fill you up.
Yeah. And I mean, like I'm giving my body what it needs. So
especially for work, like we can down that really fast and then be full for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And have energy.
I did that for the first time this week on Sunday. And our original plan was like, oh, well, you know, like we can alternate weeks and then like you can make 6 and I can make 6 and that would give us, you know, 3 for each one of us for the week or whatever. But she ended up following through with it first. And you've done it for like 3 weeks now, right?
Yeah, and it's amazing. The recipe I did this week, I'm not a fan of, so that's
my hard part is like what happens when I come across a recipe I don't like and then I don't want to eat it for the rest of the week.
I just made myself.
Because it literally, sometimes thinking about that makes me want to gag, especially if I'm like hyper fixed on something and I eat it over and over and over and over again. Like if I make this chicken pesto one too close to this time, I will eat it so much that thinking about eating it again makes me want to barf.
I feel like mine isn't necessarily one thing, but it's hyperfixed on figuring out how to organize my bathroom better for my brain.
Yeah. Which we did come to kind of find something that would work.
I'm not fully satisfied, but it's getting there. So I had a Ladies of Susan because anything in my drawers, they don't exist to me.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, they don't exist. So I had everything on my counter and then it was just a mess all the time. So she had a really good idea of having those like acrylic little boxes. And then I got like 2 of them and they're like little drawers and I put them under my cabinet and one of them is my stuff that I use every day. So I just pull it out, put it on my counter, use everything, put it back. And all I have on my counter is just the little like stone thing that I put my ring and my watch. And then like, that's it. And it's great.
So your counters stay clean. And then
it makes me want to pick it up too.
Yeah. Because at my house, I have a lot of drawer storage that like I have tall drawers.
Which might even be worse though, because then do you open them?
Yeah, no, I do,
don't.
because in my top drawer that's like directly to my left, I have my makeup when I have it in there. And then I have like my contact stuff, my toothbrushing stuff and teeth brushing stuff and like all of that stuff. So I just have to open the drawer and it's all there. The only thing I keep on my counter is like my lotion, my contact solution, and my toothbrush. And then the little thing that has like the jewelry that I wear every day. Okay. But what that does for you, opening your cabinet every day and like seeing you pulling that, you are still seeing everything that's under that cabinet.
True.
Yeah. So you like, you know, I don't know if you've heard this, but your brain remembers everything that it sees. It's just about what like you like not what you choose to remember, but what your like memory of it is. If that makes sense. So like you're opening that drawer and you see everything in there, but your brain doesn't even like recognize that it's seeing everything in it. So when you're like, oh, where's my self-tan? Like you can think like it's under my cabinet because I mean, obviously it seems like such a dumb concept to think about. But when you're, you know, you do the same thing every single morning and you live in repetition, going to work and coming home and, you know, doing all of the things, like it just becomes so repetitive and you just throw stuff all over the counter. And I think with me specifically, and you know, it's about you just finding your groove. Yeah. Having homes for everything helps me, like knowing that this goes in this space on this side of it. But I think it really does help me like maintain some type of order. I mean, now granted, like my house is literally a wreck and that's what I'm going to go home and do before hibachi night tonight. But like, it literally just like makes a home for everything. Like everything has a spot in my house. And if I don't have a place to put it, I need to find something to get rid of to be able to make spot for that. Yeah. If you do one thing from this podcast, other than a sigh of relief after it's done. Tag Kaylee Dickerson or
yes, please
send this to her or something. Or leave a comment, like it.
Please. Okay. What should they leave? If they've made it to the end, what comment should they leave?
Tell us what you want to hear next, or just say that you were here. Like you got to this point, say, oh, you know, so-and-so was here. Yeah. Or,
I'm
you
here.
know,
hi, or send like a waving emoji.
Yeah. Something like that. Cause, I know that we're really focusing on, you know, all platforms of this, but we really are going to try to like implement TikTok and YouTube and things like that. Cause we've realized, I think people like watching us better than listening. So, if this becomes a TV show, then it becomes a TV show. But we're also getting stickers made. So those will be available.
They're ordered.
They're ordered. They're on their way. And we're going to figure out a way that if we have any listeners that are farther away than Northwest Arkansas, that we can send them out to whoever wants them, because that is the best way to promote yourself. And also, if you're not already, subscribe to our podcast channel, subscribe to YouTube, and to also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and I think that's it.
Yeah. Where we try to get on every platform you could think of.
Every platform.
Yeah. And comment, please. We want to see who's listening and be friends.
And if you want to talk about something specific, like we've already decided that with moderation, no topic is off the table. So if you want to talk about something this season or next season or whatever,
let us know.
Leave a comment.
Because that's like the biggest thing that I've struggled with. Like, what do people want to listen to? Because in my head, I'm like, do they want to hear our life? Are we that interesting or no? It's like, I don't know. So please let us know.
I'm sometimes in awe with how interesting our life is. But, I mean, it's fine.
All right.
Okay. Well, have a good, for us, weekend.
Yeah.
For
a good
you,
weekend.
maybe night, maybe morning.
Holiday.
Drive safe.
Ooh, that's like perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Anyway, we will see you later and hopefully see you on the flip side. And go listen to a Russell Dickerson song today.